Hello class, my name is Eric Molina. I will be presenting the second portion of this week's lesson. For my portion of the lesson, I will be discussing resilience in the context of the two articles assigned for this week. In addition, I will relate some of the real-life applications discussed in the articles to what some are discussed in part 1 of this week's lesson over resilience. To begin, I want to talk a little bit about myself. I'm a special education teacher at Economedes High School and a full-time professional athlete heavyweight boxer. The discussion over resilience is particularly important to me as I have had to overcome great adversity throughout my own life. As a special education teacher of self-contained students, I understand firsthand the importance of positive education and reinforcement when dealing with my students, whom have no doubt come from extreme adversity themselves. I have taken away a great deal from this assignment, and I hope you guys will find it useful as well. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. So the first article that I will be discussing is Positive Psychology for Kids, Teaching Resilience with Positive Education by Lindsay Lyon. The article is extremely important and useful to educators, especially myself, as it explains the importance of teaching resilience to our children. The link to this article is included in the lesson plan under required materials and is a really useful piece of literature. I highly recommend you guys read over it before this presentation. This article is particularly important because it discusses the prevention of mental disorders such as anxiety and depression in our young children. This is achieved through the use of resilience building and education of our young children. According to this article, negative self-talk can create self-fulfilling prophecies, leading kids to behave in ways that create new situations that only reinforce the negative thoughts they have about themselves. The goal of such resilience teaching is to interrupt this process. In addition, positive psychology teaches teachers and parents how to help kids challenge negative self-talk and self-disappointments from other angles. Gilham advises parents and teachers to model these techniques, since kids are more likely to imitate what they see adults do than what they hear them say. Unless parents set the example, she says, children are really unlikely to follow. The article to the link is provided in the slide above. Before I continue discussion of resilience, I would like for the class to watch this 10-minute TED Talk YouTube video about the power of resilience. The TED Talk features Sam Goldstein, PhD, and is a great supplement to the article assigned for this week over teaching resilience with positive education. The presentation is significant and has great meaning to anyone who is an educator, brother, sister, father, etc. Please watch and consider throughout the remainder of the presentation. The direct link is included in the lesson plan under required materials and can also be accessed directly from the slide by clicking on the hyperlink. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. This article is a great supplement to the discussion of resilience. As explained in the previous slide regarding teaching resilience to children, the use and incorporation of positive psychology is a great way for us to build resilience in all aspects of our lives. In this article, Lyon explains how relationships are affected through the use of positive psychology. According to this article, reacting in a positive way not only reinforces bonds, but it also shows that person that in negative times, you'll be there. Moreover, positive reactions also magnify the uplifting effects of the good news for the partner who's doing the sharing. In fact, partners' reactions to each other's good news can better predict the quality of the relationship and whether it will endure than can partners' reaction to bad news. As a husband, I found this article to be quite useful. This article is directly relatable to Summer's discussion over external factors that contribute to resilience. This article shows us the importance of external relationships and how they relate to resilience. In this article, Lyon explains the importance of happiness. The concept of happiness is, as Summer described in her presentation, an internal factor that contributes to resilience. Other internal factors include confidence and self-esteem. Communication and problem solving are other forms of internal factors that contribute to resilience building. The bullet points in this slide highlight the origins of our happiness. According to Sanja, a professor of psychology at the University of California, Riverside. While it is often difficult to control life circumstances, as we can see, as a great deal of our happiness is under control. The article suggests, and I couldn't agree more, that happiness takes work. I recommend you guys read this article, as it might have great utility in your lives. As we have seen thus far, resilience has many components to it that require their own unique attention. Understanding each of these components and working towards improving them is a great way to increase your propensity for resilience. This article is an extension of the internal factors of resilience discussed in the previous slide. Both of these articles demonstrate the power we all possess for improving our lives. According to Fredrickson, a professor of psychology at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, finds that people who increase their daily diet of positive emotions develop closer connections with others, strengthen resilience and optimism, and are more satisfied with life compared to those that do nothing to experience positive emotions. The remainder of the article discusses ways for which we can achieve a greater serving of positive emotions per day. This is an activity that allows you to determine what your positive ratio is. By clicking on the link provided on the slide, you will have direct access to this test. I highly recommend that you guys complete the test and consider what you can do to improve your ratio of positive emotions. Remember, positive emotions are internal factors that contribute to resilience. Note that this test is a supplement to the article in slide 7. Be sure to see what Frederick suggests can be done to improve our ratios. These are some questions for discussion that I would like you guys to consider. First, for educators and teachers. Prevention was a major focus of these articles. What have you done in your classroom to prevent or interrupt the process of negative self-talk? What have you done to get your students to see disappointments from different angles? Second, psychologists, specialists. How would you go about advising parents on how to interrupt the process and challenge negative self-talk?